Good morning. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to go straight into TRVL this morning and have a look at what's going on. So yesterday, if you caught my stream, I was giving basically bullish and bearish ideas. And so let me just and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to tell people it's going up or down. I mean, I am higher time frame mega bullish on TRVL. But obviously, what I'm doing in the short term is just giving kind of like commentary on the price action, and maybe maybe helping people to get an entry if they're looking for an entry, maybe helping people to take a little bit of profit if they're looking to take a profit. So I've been talking about some kind of ABC here, and then I thought to myself yesterday, well, it could either go up or down. That's usually what happens. If it goes up and finds resistance against the weekly level, then it's going back down. Otherwise, towards the end of the stream, I was contemplating a push up. I was imagining possibly taking the highs. That would have been nice to see a high with an impulsive move. Okay, and then kind of falling back to the weekly level for a back test. So kind of two ideas in motion, and you know, no one really knows. No, honestly, no one ever knows what's going to happen. Yeah, unless you're Putin and you have your trigger finger on the nuclear codes and you short Bitcoin and then start nuking everywhere, then you're not really you can't know what's going to happen unless you make the future. Yeah, you can't predict the future unless you make the future. So what we experienced yesterday was a little bit of an impulsive kind of buy up here. Not crazy buying. And so I'm not 100% sure if this is the impulse that I was expecting. Possibly I was hoping for it to take the highs, but what it did do is it cleanly went through this weekly level that I have. Yeah, so could that be impulse, the first wave? Could this be the first wave, like the whole thing? Could this whole thing actually be one wave, the next wave? Yeah, well, the only way to know is if we don't take the low here and we have a corrective pattern here, and then we continue the impulse. Yeah, that's the only way to know. Take out the highs. I think if you see a corrective pattern here and then you have another impulse which takes the highs, then we could say, yeah, actually this was it. This was the first wave off this 5.5 support level, and otherwise we're still correcting. Otherwise, you know, someone kind of FOMO'd in a little bit. But the reality is we're still correcting. It's a better correction, isn't it? Because instead of kind of heading down, we've got enough impulsive corrective buy power to keep the prices above this key level, which is 5.5 cents, which we've been talking about basically for over a year now. We've been talking about 5.5 cents being as an important SR flip on the higher time frame. Yeah, so without a shadow of a doubt, 5.5 cents is in play, and as you can see now, looking at the daily time frame, how important it is. Yeah, you see how it's just come back into the 5.5 cents level. Maybe some people who took profit kind of reaccumulated back at this level, because that's a natural place for the price to find support based on higher time frame fib levels, which are being respected. Yeah, so could it be impulsive? Could this be impulsive? It could be the beginning of an impulse, or it could just be part of a corrective kind of the B part of a corrective. No one really, it's quite hard to see as well with these kind of ultra low cap tokens, because it moves quite erratically when it moves, and it's hard to see. So potentially what we're looking at here, so if you can just ignore this for a second, let me hide it. We're definitely looking at potentially like a weekly level, seeing if that holds. And there is a daily level here as well. So just in case people are wondering, is there a daily level? Yes, there is. There's a daily level here, slightly lower there. We have a weekly level, we have a daily level, and now we're pulling back. And actually higher up here, we haven't hit it yet. Oh, potentially we have hit it, because you could argue that that's been front run a little bit by a centimeter or a millimeter. So potentially you could argue that daily level has been hit. but the reality is that daily level needs to be cleared for continuation to the upside. And we've got this kind of weekly level, which at the moment we're trying to get through. Now, weekly levels are weekly time frame levels, and so even though on a daily level it can kind of flip around and play around, like you could also kind of do this on the weekly level, but actually on the weekly time frame what we actually need is a flip. On the weekly level needs a weekly flip, weekly time frame flip, kind of like this one here. You see here we had a weekly level here, and then we had a weekly time frame flip to confirm that as an SR flip on that higher time frame. And obviously we printed, as we did that, we printed a brand new weekly level here, there. So while on the daily time frame you could quite easily find support here and go up, we could also quite easily just kind of put volume here and eventually wash it, so it becomes quite irrelevant on the lower time frame. So we don't really know what's going to happen. So in the context of what I'm looking at now, if this is impulsive, then we're looking for this low to hold, not be taken out, and then we're looking for an ABC corrective move and another impulse, and that has to take out these highs. And actually that would kind of look like a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders in this higher range. Otherwise we're looking at some kind of ABC correction. We're kind of putting in a little bit of an ABC here. Maybe we'll put an ABC here and another ABC. So go 3 consecutive ABCs. So kind of maybe something like this. I don't know how this is going to play out. You know, you'd be looking at something like this. And this could be anything really. This could go up. This could come back here. This could be lower. This could come a little bit lower. And in this case, it would come lower. It'd be a little fake out of the lows, and then that's when you get your impulse. So it could totally be some kind of flattish, running flat ABC correction here, or we could have a little bit of a, this could be kind of a little kind of mini first. So I would rather it be correcting still, because I would like the next impulsive wave to be epic to get to higher prices. But I mean, no one can really make this happen. It just has to happen the way it does. Or we're looking at some kind of ABC here, and then we're just looking for some kind of flat correction, holding support again. And it's quite nice because we have a nice fresh daily level here. We have the 5.5. So what we're actually doing here is building support. Yeah, we're building support, and it looks like we're clearing up sell side liquidity. That's what it looks like. We're building support and we're clearing sell side liquidity at the same time. So as far as I can tell, it's looking quite bullish. That being said, I've just pulled the volume profile on this range, in this little kind of mini range, and you can see that in this mini range you've got a little bit of volume coming in at the tops, the higher part of this local range. That is slightly bearish in this range, because that will act as resistance, and it means that people are selling into these local highs. What we need is for the price to come back down and do exactly what it did before. Volume here, point of control into the lows, find support here, point of control back into the lows, and then maybe we can correct. The correction is over, maybe. So something like that would be okay. Something like that would be okay. Is that corrective, or is this an impulsive move? I mean, I think possibly it's corrective. Still corrective. I think it's possibly still corrective. It could have been more impulsive. I think it should have been a little bit more impulsive. I think what happened is you got a few kind of people buying in because it's a good price, but it's still kind of early for the kind of the impulsive move that we want to see. Now this obviously could go lower, so we don't really know how this is going to play out. Based on this pivot that we put in here, this is the 618, which would be good because it's coming back into this higher volume area, and it's coming into this daily level, you see. So there's quite a good confluence here at about 5.6, 5.7 for support. And otherwise, if you don't find support here, then the next kind of move to the downside would be to the 1-to-1, which is this really tiny red candle here. It's about 5.2 cents. And again, what you need is a clean rejection from underneath 5.5. So you're going to need this to reject quite quickly. You don't want to end up lingering. If you do end up going lower, you don't want to end up lingering here, putting in volume here in some kind of flag, which kind of can end up to the downside as the price tries to find support. I think ideally what I'll be looking at the very lowest in this circumstance before we get a kind of a good nice reaction would be actually here, the 618, this daily level, kind of the low of this range, and also the volume that we've put in here in this local range. Hopefully then we can move the point of control back to the low of this range. And I mean, this is all kind of extremely speculative. None of this is somewhat accurate. You see here this fib time from this pivot and the 1-to-1. It looks like we came a little bit later. I'm just wondering if maybe it was that pivot. Actually, it's hard to know exactly which pivot was correct, but it's not crazy. It's not easy to see. Let me try, and then kind of from this pivot to this pivot, 618 would put this at Thursday. See that? So does this kind of bleed until Thursday like that? Otherwise, it is possible to kind of bounce, and then, you know, that's also possible. It's possible to kind of come down not faster, but still find the reaction and still come down at the right time. So you're still potentially looking for an ABC. And then obviously, if that was the corrective move, this was the kind of whatever I drew out the other day. It was kind of weird, to be honest with you. ABC, something like that. Some kind of ABC here, and then you had the impulse from there. I mean, still, I think this is the invalidation. I mean, still, you could just ABC correct here and have a real impulse. I just think if this was bullish, we'd probably be looking to hold this weekly level. And so the minute you lose that, I didn't think it's probably a bit more corrective than actual ultra bullish in this context. But that being said, this whole kind of structure looks quite flat to me when you compare it to the move, and it might be forming some kind of pennant or flag. At the moment, it's looking potentially like a pennant, and that would be okay. That would be okay, you know, after you have this kind of expansive move, a kind of pennant corrective price action, and then obviously a flag would be more kind of like I suggested earlier, something like that. Flag. You still have to get back above it, 5.5, and then if you lose it briefly, and then you still have to get past this volume resistance that forms as you consolidate. But these are the kind of options that we have at the moment. Looking at the higher time frame, let me just delete all of this now, not relevant. We'll keep those. We'll keep these levels which I've marked. I mean, on the higher time frame, it's still looking pretty darn good, isn't it? It's not looking terrible. Like you could imagine that if this was bearish, then this, rather than going up, would be kind of at the lows here, going down. There'd be another red, would be pushing down. So generally speaking, when you're pushing the top upper part of a range, you're bullish, you're not bearish. And at the moment, that's what's happening. We're not really pushing the lows. If it was bearish here, I think we'd be kind of the price would be down here, and we'd be looking at another red weekly candle. Then we would be aiming kind of for this area like that. And it doesn't look like that's what's happening. So in my mind, this is actually quite bullish higher time frame correction at the moment. If we hold here this week, second week above this 5.5 level, then I would argue that this support has held on the higher time frame, and we'll probably be looking for higher, and it'd be like buying on support, this 5.5 level, and then we have to attack this next level and see what happens there. And ideally, what you also want to see on these kind of higher time frame green candles is you want to see increasing volume. Yeah. So on the monthly time frame, it's 19th of November. So we still got a good part of 11 days in the month to go, and we've already put in almost as much volume as the previous month. We're about 21 million shy of the previous month. We probably will have an increasing volume from the previous month. Probably. It looks like it will happen. And like I was saying before, I'm looking at a really nice reversal pattern here. Three white soldiers, 3 reds downtrend, followed by 3 greens uptrend. And so I haven't seen that in a while in many charts, to be honest with you. And so I think this is quite a strong reversal pattern on the higher time frame. So I do expect us to go higher. I'm expecting higher. I think what I would like to see, if possible, on the yearly time frame, if we can hit the golden pocket before the year is out, that would be amazing. So kind of here, if we can get there before the year is out, clear the liquidity there, then next year we could be looking for maybe a small pullback, or just a continuation to the upside. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now. Okay, so that's TRVL. If anyone doesn't know about TRVL, then it's always good to do a little bit of research. I mean, I talk about TRVL every day, and if you just go onto the Dtravel X page, you can find all your stuff, all the information you want there. And simply, it's a decentralized Web3 Airbnb that's being built on the blockchain, right? And the transaction value, a percentage of it, is being used to buy and burn TRVL. So this is basically the beginning of an innovation, and I think this is extremely bullish in the higher time frame, because effectively what you're dealing with is a deflationary token, which is directly connected and linked to an Airbnb-esque type business, with travelers renting short vacation rentals across the world. And so you can go and have a look and see what it's all about. This is like one of the properties, and these are owned by individuals around the world. So we have a physical network that's growing. This is somewhere in Spain, I think it is. And if you go to the Dtravel website, you can actually search on the search app. And what I've heard is that there will be a mobile app coming, dare I say soon. I don't know if it's going to be soon, but it is in the pipeline. So this is a web app. It's a Web3 app, and here you can search for properties. If you rent any one of these properties for a vacation, just like Airbnb, a portion of that rental value is used to buy and burn TRVL. So you're dealing with a deflationary token, and once this kind of grows, it will grow, it is growing, then you're going to see some significant increase in value when it comes to TRVL. This is the analytics for Dtravel. You can see it's updated 12 hours ago. So far we've had we have nearly 4,000 listings. This is our cumulative value in terms of transactions. That's $888,000. 800. I don't know why there's a difference between these two. And you can see this is the month-on-month growth, and so it looks like we're growing quite handsomely. Look at that, total bookings. I think one time in the future we're going to have a real kind of crazy growth spurt. It's going to go kind of parabolic once, because the hyper growth of these projects are at the beginning. Yeah, so this is kind of when you want to get involved. This is where you're going to get the most bang for buck, risk reward for the risk. And at the moment when you're looking at the token, and now actually my focus is the charts, to be honest with you, I'm seeing an extremely bullish higher time frame setup, you know, triple bottom. Looks like we've put in enough volume in this lower range, and what I'm looking for is higher prices now, especially in the context of Bitcoin. All right, that's my TRVL update. So I hope that was useful for today. Very short and sweet. Good morning, Mohan Bardagav. Can you check SLERF? Of course, SLERF, Bowman, GMX. Yeah. So today I was going to do TRVL, which I have done. I'm going to do SLERF, MNW KDA, only because some people have already requested for that. So obviously I take requests. Happy to do that. Someone asked me to do who was it here? KDA Cardano. So I'm going to do that for him. And then yesterday on my exp, someone asked me to do MNW. Here it is, MNW. So he's given me a chart as well, so I'm going to have a look at that as well. I'm going to have a look at Bitcoin. I still haven't started looking at Bitcoin, so I'm going to do that too, just to kind of get an overview. I've started off with TRVL in the first instance, just to kind of do a little update on that. And I'm happy to have a look at the others as well. So let me just kind of delve into Bitcoin a little bit. What's going on with Bitcoin? Well, yesterday I was contemplating a price move to the downside, and actually what we're experiencing is quite the opposite. So when you're expecting down moves and it's not happening, then you have to scrub it out. I can't just keep on thinking it's going down if it's not. Yeah. And what's happening, and it's kind of what I've been talking about for a while, is that we're getting quite strong bullish divergences on the market, on the order flow. Yeah, we're getting a lot of bullish CVD on this whole range. You can see that the CVD, this is this yellow line here, keeps on going down and down and down and down and down, and the price is basically the lows of the price that just go up and up and up and up and up. This is extremely bullish order flow. It means that market orders are being absorbed by big limit longs, and nothing is budging this. There's no kind of give in what's happening, what we're experiencing here. Anyone's selling is just getting absorbed. Yeah, whoever's taking profit, whoever's shorting, whoever's selling is just getting absorbed. I'm not seeing any kind of big liquidations. There's a liquidation here, there's a few there, but nothing kind of to write home about. But I am seeing massive divergences, bullish divergences in the price. It kind of worries me a little bit because I'm just looking at the funding rate, and the funding rate is quite bearish actually. So I am a little bit worried. As to what will happen next, because I'm seeing bullish order flow, which would generally speaking make me want to long, but at the same time I'm seeing quite bearish funding. Okay, so BTC, not just on BTC, on quite a few different tokens. And generally speaking, with bearish funding, the market makers, the exchanges want the price to go down. Yeah, they don't want it to go up. Look at this, bit by bit. It's slightly bearish. Huh? It's not as crazy bearish as it was a few days ago, but it's still kind of, it's steadily becoming bearish, isn't it? So here, look, 0.4 on BitMEX, 0.04 on BitMEX, Binance 0.03. I mean, there is tolerance for it to continue going up, to become ultra bearish. But generally speaking, when the funding rate becomes bearish, it means that there's a lot of leverage longs opening in this range. Yeah, a lot of leverage longs, and it's absorbing the selling, and so naturally a lot of these leverage longs are expecting higher prices. And what market makers love to do is they love to flush out these leverages. Yeah, now I don't know how they're going to do that, and that usually what happens before there's a move. Usually before there's a move, there's a flush, and I don't know when or if that's going to happen, but it depends where their stop losses are. If they're here or they're here or they're here, or if they're following these lows, do we get a flush like that and a push up? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we get a flush. I'm not sure, because the price just keeps on getting absorbed, and you kind of need a flush. I think we need a flush before we go up, but I don't know, because I think the problem is that the market's just, the order flow is so bullish that if people just keep on longing, and the price is just going to grind up and up and up. Yeah, eventually what will happen is we could get a kind of a breakout. Yeah, so yesterday I was contemplating a kind of a triangle like this. I think it was quite bearish, but maybe I was wrong. It's possible, you know, I'm not always right. And so while I have this kind of idea still in play, I'm also thinking to myself, let me just kind of chuck it away into idea one. I'm just trying to imagine what could go wrong. And the other thing that kind of I'm bearing in mind is that for the first time, Ukraine has launched long-range missiles against Russia. So I don't know if you're aware of that. Let me have a look. Ukraine missile. Let's see what X has to say about that. Ukraine fires US-made missiles into Russia. The target was an ammunition store in Karachev in Russia's Bryansk region. Source Daily Mail. Has World War III started? No. Is that fake? No one really knows. Could that be fake? I find it very unlikely that Russia is going to engage in some kind of nuclear war before this new president Trump comes into power. And I find it very bizarre that the US has approved these long-range missiles, which isn't really going to change it's not going to change the outcome of this war in the next 6 weeks, 2 months. Yeah. So what's the play here? There's a play. Yeah, there's a play, and we don't know. We don't really know what's going on. Could it have a detrimental impact on crypto? Yes, it can. I'm a little bit concerned about what's going to happen next, and I am wondering if Russia's going to retaliate in a very kind of impactful way, which is going to impact the markets. So if they were to launch some kind of a nuclear something, I'm sure the market's going to dump like crazy, and actually that would be quite a good opportunity to buy, but it would flush out all of these leverage positions. Yeah, and that's the scare, that's the worry. Yeah, is it going to happen or is it not? No one really knows. I think they would have to do something like that, and then what you would get is a big flush. You'd get like bam, and then maybe it would come right back up again, probably. So I've got that in mind. Okay, but at the moment this is looking quite bullish. Yeah, and I had this bearish idea and it's just not playing out. So I'm not kind of thinking bearish at the moment. You see the price is above this local point of control. So that's bullish. That's bullish. Yeah, it's bullish. While the price is still holding above this point of control, it's bullish. It's not bearish. You can't think bearish until we lose it. And obviously then the other thing that I had in mind was this Trump pump volume. Let me just kind of redraw the volume from this Trump pump. That was on the 4th of November here, this low here. You can see the point of control is slightly higher. The value area low is slightly higher. And the value area high is correct. And that just tells me that there's a lot of volume here putting in these being put into the into these highs right now. As long as the price holds above this point of control, this is bullish. Yeah. And the minute you lose it, it becomes bearish. If you do that, then this becomes bearish. And so just bear that in mind. Yeah, I don't want to say this is going to happen because I have no idea, but you still have this trend line. Forget about the triangle. You still have this trend line. If we lose it, lose the point of control, back test it for resistance here, then actually this is gonna look terrible, and we are heading down. Okay. All right. That definitely will play out if that happens, and that will be the flush that we're looking for, and then we'll be looking for support to be found. Ideally, then you'll be looking for volume to come into these lows, and for the point of control to flip to the bottom side of this range, ideally. But the other thing that I'm just kind of imagining right now, and I said this yesterday in my stream, my update on Bitcoin, is that generally speaking, I don't like these triangles where they're kind of slanted like this. I think they're more bearish than bullish. But if we form a flat top triangle potentially here, then actually that's quite bullish. Yeah, flat top, they can still break down, huh? Flat top triangles can still break down, but generally speaking, they're bullish. Yeah, so even though I can see the highs are getting a slightly lower, I am wondering if there is some kind of flat top being formed here. And with these flat tops, you just keep on attacking the highs. You keep on putting higher lows. Yeah. Until eventually you break out. Yeah. And then you're looking for, again, something very similar, like some kind of triangle measured move. Up to 100k, yeah? That would take us to 100k. Something like that would take us to 100k. So something like that would also work, and then you'll be definitely 100k would be a massive take profit for most people who've been accumulating Bitcoin forever. So just bear that in mind. Anyone who's been accumulating Bitcoin since Bitcoin was $1 or whatever will definitely take a profit at 100k. There's no reason why you don't expect that. So if you do hit 100k, then you could actually come right back down. And then you could also come right back down. And actually you'll be then looking for a much kind of more volatile, much wider range. Generally speaking, when Bitcoin becomes volatile like this, altcoins will be punished, will suffer. Yeah. Altcoins will get a little pump as it goes up, and then they'll get another big dump, and it will be quite brutal on new altcoins. So altcoins won't survive volatility if we go up to 100k and get a massive rejection, and then we fall underneath this consolidation and we're heading right back down to some kind of range low here in these lows. Yeah, so even though, I mean, and this is possible too, this is very possible. So I don't necessarily think we're just going to go through 100k. I don't necessarily think we're just going to come right down either. I think it's possible we go up and we come down and we find support and we just range here, you know, like it's always range to range until you lose the range. So if we do kind of go up to 100k, but I do expect a big take profit. And so in this circumstance, it may be so that you get a rejection from 100k, you come right back down, you go right back up, more take profits and more take profits, and actually you start kind of rounding, and this actually becomes a little bit more bearish for the liquidity grab, and then maybe we go back up again. You know, like that's Bitcoin's pretty, it's going to be a bit mental the minute we hit 100k. Could we go through 100k? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Everything's possible, but the probability is that we reject. Just because I think everyone would take profit at 100k or thereabouts. Everyone is expecting 100k at the moment. No one is not expecting 100k, and everyone will take profit 100k. That's what's happening right now, I think. Right, so I've got this kind of price action in mind as well. So kind of bullish and bearish ideas. I'll call it idea bullish flats top triangle 200k. So possibly that, or possibly something like that. Either one is valid in my mind. I would prefer to go down to go up. I think it's always better to go down, flush liquidity, clear the liquidity, then go up and then hit 100k. I think it'd be a lot healthier if we do that, because then even if we won't get such a rejection, possibly it'll be a little bit more consolidated. I think if we just go straight up now, it's likely that we do get a little bit of a rejection. Yeah, but no one really knows what's going to happen. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Let me just have a look at the order flow again, just to see if there's any kind of alert. So we're getting some liquidations here. See that? A little bit of liquidation. Let's have a look at I mean, altcoins aren't really going up, are they? So it's very it's grinding, isn't it? It's grinding. I think if you expect it, if you see big strength from Bitcoin, altcoins are going to start pumping too. So I'm not really seeing that yet. So I am thinking possibly we're pulling back, but I don't know. Right, at the moment this is looking quite nice. Right, so that's kind of Bitcoin. Well, two ideas, and at the moment it's bullish until we lose that point of control. Let's have a look at ETH BTC. So ETH BTC is kind of still falling. Yeah, it's still quite bearish. Look at that. So I think this is quite bearish, ETH BTC. That kind of lends to the idea that we're probably looking to go further. I think this is the area of interest for me. It's somewhere here, somewhere between 0.031 and 0.029. We've got a higher time frame point of control at 0.031. I actually published this on my X profile. I just wanted to show you. So what we've got here, I'm using the monthly time frame on ETH BTC. Let me just hide the volume there. And we've got a higher time frame point of control here. That's where most of the volume is on this pair. It's that red line. That corresponds to a higher time frame golden pocket. The golden pocket is the ratio from the pivot low here to the pivot high, and it kind of starts at 618. It's basically 61.8%. It's called the golden pocket, and it's kind of works its way down through to like 65 or 66%. Yeah, so it's kind of like an area, and from this pivot low to this pivot high, the golden pocket kind of corresponds perfectly on this higher time frame point of control. So you've got massive confluence here, and then also based on this pivot low here, this pivot, not this absolute low here, this pivot. So there's this second pivot through to this pivot here. This is the high. Then I've got a fib time pivot which is the 1.618 corresponding with January. And this is the monthly candles, so it's a monthly time frame. So we are coming into, potentially we're coming into quite strong confluence for support. And this is ETH against BTC, and it's coming in January. So not long from now. It's about 6 weeks from now. No, 5 weeks even, because we're the 19th. It's just over 5 weeks from now. So I am expecting a reaction. And actually, this is where I think alt season is going to begin. Yeah. And also, there's a monthly level. If you look at this candles, this monthly candle, you've got a monthly level here too. You've got a higher time monthly SR flip. There's so many things happening here that I think this is when alt season begins. Yeah. And I imagine that Bitcoin has to go up for alt season to begin, because that's when either Bitcoin has to go up or Bitcoin has to find support. Either one has to happen. It's more, I think it's more likely that it's hard to know exactly. Usually when Bitcoin goes parabolic, ETH drops into BTC, but there isn't really much room, because last time it happened here, June, July, August, ETH dropped a lot against BTC. That was December, and then that's kind of where it found support on the kind of a double bottom here. So from August, so maybe it's possible we kind of just, it is possible that we get something like this here, something like this. Anyway, I think we're coming into strong support here. Yeah. And I kind of correlate that with my Elliott waves. And I think possibly if that we do get an impulsive move, then maybe we are heading for the highs, and we'd want to see like 5 higher time frame waves, 3 impulsive, 2 corrective. And then my target, I mean, it's quite speculative. I mean, no, especially since this kind of time pivot is coming at the end of 26, and typically people are expecting the bull market to finish at the end of next year, sometime according to this October or November 25. That would be the 1 to 2. So you would actually look for this to kind of really rally up, huh? If that was going to finish like that. I don't know, I have no idea. I don't know. It's actually for me, actually this is more, this is a better looking chart up to there, or something like that even, you know. And then actually you are looking at some kind of harmonic here. If you look at the, from one of these pivots, it's like this, isn't it? What is that? Some kind of bearish Gartley, isn't it? So this would be a really good place to pick up on ETH, and also a good place to go to be in altcoins. And that's actually what I think is going to be the trade of the century. While people are kind of stocking up on Bitcoin and the big institutions are, I actually think that the trade, the play is going to be altcoins. And so when I kind of look at Bitcoin dominance as well, I see very similar things. I see that Bitcoin dominance is grinded up and up and up and up and up. Basically, it's gone up from April 23, so 1.5 years. Bitcoin dominance is grinded up 25%. Generally speaking, the way the price grinds up like that has no support, literally no support. Yeah, do you see how it's grinding up? There's no support here, because it takes support, it takes liquidity every time, and then it kind of grinds up like that. So it's clearing all the liquidity and it's going up in levels like that. So eventually when you break down, it will just drop. That's usually what happens when the price grinds up. When it finally breaks, it just drops until it finds the first kind of area of where it began, where the grinding began and where the impulse ended, and that's the kind of the first big gap in the market, and then that's kind of where the price finds support. So I'm still thinking to myself, that would be the target. Whatever happens, however far this gets on a higher time. Remember, I'm looking at monthly candles. I'm not looking at kind of weekly candles, even daily candles or weekly candles. I'm looking at monthly candles. At the moment, if from the current pivot, it would be 50% retrace to get back to where I'm interested in, which is the top here. And obviously the higher you go, makes no real difference. So let's say we go all the way up to there, you're coming back down to the golden pocket. But really that's where I'm interested in, just because I know, just based on what I understand of the way candles form, the way these are kind of grinding up, there isn't really much support until we kind of get to here. It's kind of what I'm interested in. That would bring, and that wouldn't be bad, because then it would just be bringing BTC back down to about 48-50%, yeah, which is okay. BTC is 50% of the market. That's okay, isn't it? That's kind of fair. And at the moment we're pushing into the higher numbers. We're at 60% now. The higher we go, the more likely it is eventually that this is going to snap and it's going to fall right back, and that will be a crazy alt season, because there'll be a rush for alts. There'll be a crazy rush for alts. For a short period of time, people are just going to be market buying alts. What else is there to have a look at here? Let me have a look at USD dominance. So USD dominance is clearly showing weakness. This monthly candle is extremely bearish. We're just falling down, and I've got a nice juicy target here for when USD dominance can actually kind of find some decent support. And again, it's kind of like what I was saying. You see, when you're grinding up like this, which is what was happening, when the price finally breaks down, there's no support, and it just drops. So actually, to be honest with you, in the first instance, support is here. But actually, this is kind of where you're finding support, because you're kind of coming down to here, to this level here. Right. Let me have a look at SLERF quickly, and then I'll have a look at those two tokens. If Mohan is still here, have a look at those for you. So it's interesting. Yesterday I was talking about kind of this high volume nodes in my stream yesterday morning. And we got a nice bounce. It's quite interesting because it's it kind of bounced exactly where I wanted it to bounce, didn't it? Slightly front run, but it kind of hit my level. Didn't go further. It was front run, and then we're getting quite bearish price action here, to be honest with you. So we haven't got the reaction that maybe I would have wanted to see. We're getting lower highs here. We got a nice bounce, but we're kind of hugging this golden pocket. And kind of yesterday, what I was talking about, and if you watch the video, my video from yesterday, I kind of explained it, didn't I? I kind of tried to explain it as best as I could. I was just talking about this correctiveness. When it was correcting, I said it was correcting. I didn't think it was impulsive. And then the minute it started dropping, I said, well, actually, this is probably going to go down to here, which it did. It kind of came down to here. And I kind of even gave people a little bit of a kind of idea of where it could react. Now, it hasn't kind of had a bullish a reaction as I had hoped. So that's okay. That's normal. It's not unexpected, because it is a meme coin, and generally speaking, people aren't necessarily bullish with meme coins as they should be. It's a good opportunity to start buying. I look back at 30 cents. We were only at 48 cents like a few days ago. So let me just scrub these now, and let me just kind of delete all this shit. Let's just have a look at this and see what's going on. I haven't looked at this since yesterday, so I'm just kind of doing this live right now. I'm just kind of with fresh eyes having a look at this, seeing what's going on, seeing if I can figure it out. Let me update the volume levels here. This chart that I'm using right now is the Bybit perpetuals. Okay, I'll interchange between Bybit perpetuals and the combined chart between the 4 different exchanges that I've combined. Mohan is saying Wintermute became SLERF market maker, and recently their tokens were getting listed on big exchanges. That's the reason I'm kind of bullish on SLERF. I didn't know that, but thanks for that information. Well, yeah, that's great. Wintermute, huh? Amazing. Look, let's just break it down to the basics. Yeah, let's just focus on the basics first, and then we can get a little bit more kind of intricate. The volume, the point of control is in the lows of this overall range, so that's generally considered bullish. That being said, it's quite far away, and we have these kind of higher volume nodes in between the price before it gets down. You can see the nodes here. There's one here, there's kind of one here, and then there's one here. There's a few on the way. Yeah, as the price was going up, you can see how it found resistance. You see this kind of big red candle. You see how it found resistance at these volume nodes. So not only do they provide resistance as the price goes up, they also provide support as the price comes back down. Generally speaking, those are considered good areas to buy and sell. So right now we're coming into a high volume node. So as far as I'm concerned, it is considered a good place to buy and sell. Okay, because there's a lot of liquidity at these levels for buying and selling. Yeah, so if you sell up here and you there's low volume and the price will just escape away from you, you won't get, if you're selling a big position, you might get a really bad fill and you'll end up losing a certain percentage because of the spread. But when you come to these kind of higher volume nodes, you've got quite a large amount of liquidity, a lot of supply and demand at these nodes, and therefore you can buy and sell, and the spread is much tighter. But in the same essence, you sell, but you're actually selling because there's demand. Yeah, you're coming into demand. All right, so that's kind of where we're at now. It was not unexpected for us to get a little bit of a failed auction above the value area high. Yeah, especially because I'm counting waves, and we just counted 5 waves. Like literally, it's that simple when you're counting, when you're doing Elliott waves. Now, the waves that I was counting was, I mean, it's trickier. It's not that it's not as straightforward. But here, look, see, look, so this was your 1, that was your 2, it's a kind of a nice flat corrective 2, and then here you've got your 1, ABC, 3, ABC, and then you've got your 5 there. That was your 5 waves. I was just counting waves, and so when that completed, everyone was like ultra bullish, and even someone on SLERF Sol posted someone's market buy 2 million SLERF, and it kind of was the wrong time to buy, because you can clearly see that we've had 5 waves in this wave 3. We're kind of looking for a corrective pattern to form first. Now, initially I was thinking maybe we're just going to have a really nice flat ABC here, and we can continue, because that would be our 4, and then we can continue for a nice 5 there. That's obviously not happened, and so now we're kind of pulling back. Okay, so the correction continues. There isn't enough demand at these higher prices. That's all that it means, but it doesn't mean that the waves or the impulsive move is over. I still think that we have another wave to complete this wave 3. Okay, I still think that. Okay, I don't think that this is over. I think we have another wave. Now what would yeah, I mean, that would, it wouldn't make sense otherwise, because you're looking at 5 waves. Now technically this 4 can't come underneath the top of this one, so we've got quite a large space for this to correct. So even if it was to come down to here to crazy numbers like 1.18 cents and an impulse from here, it would still be valid. You know, it would still be a valid 5th wave. I'm not necessarily expecting that. And the reason why I'm not expecting that is because of what I explained yesterday. You're just counting ABC corrective moves. So where did I draw it? Let me just pull it up here. So maybe something like this. Maybe something like this. Maybe we got the reason why I say maybe is because nothing is set in analysis. Like, it's all kind of speculative analysis, and then as new data comes, as new price candles are printed, then you can actually form a better analysis. But I'm still kind of in my original idea, which is some kind of ABC here. Some kind of, it looks like there's an ABC here, and possibly to just kind of match this first arm, something like this, maybe something like this. Okay, so I am still thinking like that. Actually, nothing's really changed, does it? I hoped that this would be slightly different. I hoped that maybe we would have something more like this, but it hasn't done that. It's kind of, the bounce was quite weak, and this high volume node is offering a little bit of support. Does it mean we're going to come here? No, it doesn't mean that. It's just an idea of what, if you suddenly, like, really, it's down to the market, it's down to supply and demand. If you suddenly see a shit ton of people buy here, then you're not going to go down there, are you? It doesn't matter what I'm saying. The reality is, if suddenly circumstances change and a lot of people start buying, then this isn't going to go down. If for whatever reasons that I can't explain, everyone starts selling, yeah, then this is just going to crash, you know. It's just, but I mean, if everything just goes steadily, correctively, and nothing kind of influences the markets, and this is just going not as normal, then I think I'm looking for down here, somewhere down here. All right, and so let me just see. It's a kind of odd shaper, but let me just do a full fib on this lower. It's kind of nowhere as well. That's the thing. It's a bit nowhere. Oh, I see where it is. So actually it is somewhere. Let's just have a look at these waves here. So from the beginning here, from the 1 all the way up to that top 3, or maybe the top of it. Possibly coming into this 50% mark at somewhere around 26. And nothing is better than the golden pocket, really. So for reasons that I can't explain, you could also do this. Yeah. You'd want a really gentle kind of corrective. You want it to kind of land there and then go up like that. You don't want it to kind of sharply go down now. You kind of want it to match this. You kind of want it to match this. So I wouldn't even mind if it kind of does this either. So kind of like a similar, something very similar to that. I'd be okay with that. When you're looking at this higher time frame, these candles now, kind of you're coming into the top of this, aren't you? Yeah. Do you see how these this is the weekly time frame? You see how you've got these kind of this little kind of a big SR flip here. It's a little bit of an area. I'll draw it out for you. Kind of there. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That would make a lot of sense to just kind of flip there. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, it's I don't find it that easy to do this. I I I imagine the future, and surprisingly, sometimes it works, and for some reason, it does what I imagine sometimes. But it always surprises me when it does. Wednesday. So I mean, if you don't really want to come underneath this area really by Wednesday, and then you've got this kind of, what have you got? You've got this weekly level here. Look, you've got this week, the bottom side. You've got this. You'll be losing this daily level, but you'll be coming into this weekly level from before. There's a couple of weekly levels actually. So look, you've got these big weekly levels from before. That was clearly some kind of SR flip. If you look at where's my brush? You see that? See how it taps? So you kind of want to flip that level, don't you? That weekly level. And that was the weekly level that we came into resistance when we pulled back, when I first did the first video of a few weeks ago, when I said we're looking for a correction now. We kind of hit that perfectly. You kind of want it to come and hit that perfectly too now. Find support, and then hopefully we can go up. Let's have a look at the volume as well. Wouldn't mind a little bit more volume on this red candle. You see, there isn't that much volume. Just a little bit more would be nice. Maybe down to 25. Honestly, I don't know, but it could come down, and then it is possible to come down and then just kind of bounce, and then if we can just hold this area, this weekly level, that would be really nice. And then you just want to see an impulsive move then. All right. And then we have to count waves depending on how impulsive this is. But, you know, initially I was hoping for higher. I was hoping for like 80 cents. I'm not really thinking 80 cents that from these lows, to be honest with you, because it's a bit higher. It's a bit too high. I'll be thinking probably a 1-to-1 at the very high, at the very most of this trend based. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, probably somewhere around 63. But you never know. I mean, like, crypto is crazy, yeah? Things can impulse way beyond your expectations. There isn't really any confluence. Yeah, we'd have to impulse here. We can't just kind of, the minute you give up all of those gains, and then you need to see some big volume coming in here to taking this up again. All right, I mean, I'll continue having a look at this. I mean, I'm going to post a video today, but it's not going to look great, is it? People are going to go, oh my God, I'm going to need to buy SLERF now. They're going to be like, shit, what I should have sold. That being said, if you see this, none of this is financial advice. Yeah, I do this just for fun. It's a hobby. My higher time frame strategy on SLERF is just to hodl, hodl it until the end of alt season. Yeah, so if you watch my videos, you'll see I'll say exactly the same thing. I do lightly leverage when we come into areas of support, and then after we get like big impulsive moves, I deleverage, right? Take profit. I do that very lightly leverage. I don't do anything more than like 1x to be honest with you, because I don't because otherwise you're just giving the market makers an excuse to liquidate you, and I don't think that's smart. But that being said, my higher time frame trade on SLERF is spot, and I'm waiting for much higher. Honestly, I'm waiting for higher time frame Elliott waves to play out. So it's just all of what I'm doing now is just speculative, and it's just fun really. And you've got to be having fun when you're charting or when you're trading. You're not having fun, then you're in the wrong business. You shouldn't be doing this if you're not having fun. If you don't have fun looking at charts and trying to predict movements and trying to find good places to buy and sell, then if it's too stressful, you shouldn't be doing it. Going back to basics, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I don't think we want to take out this low here. That would be at this underneath this daily level, okay? Because that's your kind of your higher low on this daily time frame, isn't it? You see how we're putting in higher highs, higher lows. That was your higher high, came to put in a higher low here, went up to put a higher high there. Now we're coming in to put a higher low. So we don't want to see market structure change on the daily time frame, because that would be awfully bearish. If for reasons that I can't explain, the price does take out this low for a lower low, then naturally a lot of people, as it comes up to put in a lower high, a lot of people will sell into that, because they won't necessarily expect it to go all the way up to the top there. They'll be looking to sell into that for a lower high. Okay, what we want to see right now is another higher low, and that is the trade. And the closer you get down to this pivot here, the better the ROI on this trade effectively. So right now we're into the golden pocket. I think the last fib level is down here at 25 cents. See the 886, 25 cents. That's your kind of your your last line in the sand when it comes to fib levels on this pullback. Right now into the golden pocket, which is a good place. And then you coincide that with your higher time frame levels. You've got this weekly level. You see how they kind of correspond here. And then also, let me just do one more thing here. Let me just pull the volume just from these lows. No, nothing interesting. So this is quite interesting. So just to give you a little bit of context, so our Elliott wave move kind of started here, you see, with this one here. This is where it started. So if you pull the volume from when the waves, the impulsive waves began, okay, what you actually have is the value area high corresponds with my weekly level, corresponds with the 886, and that would correspond with the last line of defense for a higher low here. We need a higher low here, okay. I think that would potentially also correspond with this corrective move. Did I delete it? Don't think I did. This corrective move somewhere here. So I do think there's quite a lot of kind of interesting confluence here. It's hard to pick out, but there is. You can see it. Weekly level, back test of that weekly level, that pivot. That's a big SR flip. You've got this 886 fib, and then you've got from the where the Elliott wave impulses began, from the 0 to the 1. If you draw volume profile, you'll see the value area high is there as well, which kind of exactly comes on that same level, doesn't it? That would be the best ROI on this kind of trade setup, because you don't want a lower low here, you want a higher low, and that's kind of what you're looking for, another impulsive move to catch it if we come down. And that would be potentially the correction is complete as well, because you're kind of counting this correction, and we've kind of got it to come down to here. At the moment I've got it to come down a little bit higher at 26, but the kind of the area, the absolute low here in my mind would be somewhere about 25, just above 25, somewhere between 25 and 26. So yeah, so let's see what happens. Let's see if we do get a kind of a crazy reaction, and then hopefully, I mean, let's see when that will happen. Then maybe by Wednesday would be nice for that to be head to that. And then if we can get a nice impulsive move again, counting 5 waves from here, I don't really know. I mean, maybe a 1-to-1, and if we do come all the way down to here and we do a 1-to-1, then we're only really going to take the high up, just up there, just to take those highs again. But still, that'll be okay, because you're just putting, that's kind of what you want to do with every move that we make. We want to put higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. I don't mind that. I don't really need this to go to infinity today, but what we do need is our higher lows and higher highs, okay, every single time, higher lows. So every time we impulse, if we put in another higher high, every time we correct, if we can put in a higher low, then by the end of this alt season, we'll probably be trading at infinity $1 billion. Okay, so as long as we keep that idea, so if people have taken profit, they're looking for the best entry here, for the most lucrative entry here, this is probably where it's going to be. 25, somewhere between 25 and 26 on Wednesday. All right, assuming we lose this area of interest here, because the other thing you have to bear in mind is always possible lose it here and then just kind of reclaim it, and actually it doesn't, it kind of, your whole area is front run. And the reason why that can happen sometimes is because there's so much demand, there's so many people desperate to get an entry, and they just won't allow the price to get down to lower, yeah, because they're trying to fill. And generally speaking, you know, people who are trying to fill, they'll place limit orders, they won't necessarily place market orders, and that kind of prevents the price from coming down, especially if no one is selling. And the lower it gets, you know, the more kind of the less inclined people are to sell. They're probably more inclined to just hodl. All right, so that's kind of SLERF. I hope that helps. And obviously, if there are any questions, just put it underneath this comment on this video or this X post. If you like my videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you could just kind of give me a share and a like on YouTube. That will help get the word out, because that also helps, doesn't it? Getting the word out about SLERF, and kind of that helps, doesn't it? All right, that's my SLERF update. I hope that helped, Mohan. Let me see what else you wanted me to look at some stuff. All right, hi T13, how are you? Alpha macro top. And there's a few things you want me to have a look at. If you don't mind, I'm gonna just kind of finish off what I wanted to do. MNW quickly and MNW quickly and KDA. I'm going to do those two back to back, and I'm not going to create videos out of those. I'm just going to kind of link it to those people who wanted me to do those two tokens. All right, so let me just quickly do those. I'll do a very quick analysis. I won't go into depth, just because there's some other things other people who are here live want me to do. So I take preference for people who are live on my channel. MNW KuCoin, let's have a look. And then the other one I wanted to do is KDA, Binance. All right. So let's do KDA first. Let's have a look at the chart. I'm not don't really know what this is, what this token is. I'm not going to have a look right now. Let's just have a look at the charts, just what this is on Binance. All right, so this is the volume profile. Back above the point of control. Just doing a fib pull from the highs to the low here. Let me get it there. Yep. Let's have a look at that and see what that looks like. So yeah, it looks okay. Looks all right. There's no impulse here because you've taken out the lows here. You see that? This is looking all kind of corrective at the moment. I'm not really seeing crazy impulsive moves. I can see increasing volume here as the price goes up. So I would consider this bullish. Increasing volume, increasing prices is bullish. There is possibly one impulsive move here, but you took out the lows. So that resets if there was kind of an impulsive move there. If there was impulsive move here, that was reset there. And then maybe there was an impulsive move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's possible. That's possible to be your one. It's possible for there to be some kind of one there. This could be an ABC2 correction. You could be in a 3 wave, 4, 5. It could be something like that at the moment. Just looking at these higher time frame fibs, it's in a good place because we're above the point of control, and as you can see, there's been a shed load of volume put into these lows. So that's, I would consider that bullish, especially when the price is holding the value area and it's above the point of control. In this context, you've got big resistance at the value area high 1.24, because that you have quite good confluence with the 386. That being said, we haven't even crossed this 236 here, this level here, so that will act as resistance. Yeah, so these higher time frame fibs will act. You can see that the higher time frame fibs are being respected as SR flips, certainly the 236 is, and here you can see the 382 is A little bit messy, but it is. So in the first instance, I think probably get past the 236 from where we are, and then you're going right up to the 3. Not crazy returns, and possibly the 4 will come all the way back. I don't know. Can't really tell. It's quite, I think you probably need a nice back test of the point of control for a real impulsive move, rather than just grinding up. See how it's grinding up? But you kind of need a kind of like this of sorts. But it looks okay. Let's have a look at the candles. Yeah, you've got pretty big resistance here at 1.27. Pretty strong resistance. So it is possible you get big resistance and then you get another pullback, and then you're forming some kind of rounding bottom here, or some kind of triple bottom, whatever, first. But the time scales don't allow it to form that kind of higher time frame triple bottom. That being said, this monthly candle is looking extremely bullish, because it's looking like an engulfing. You see that this candle is an engulfing, bullish engulfing. So this monthly candle is engulfing the previous month. It came all the way down below it, and now it's at the above. So actually it's a really bullish candle. You can pretty much buy those candles, but your target will be, again, here. That's your target for that. That's like a trade there, right there. Right. So that's KDA. I hope that helps, mate. Let's have a look at the other one that you want to have a look at it. MNW. And then Morpheus. No idea what this token is. Not going to have a look. Let's just kind of pull the volume again. A little bit of a sign of strength here, just getting back into the value area. Still underneath higher time frame resistance, which is this point of control. So still a little bit of work to be done here on this token. There's actually no impulsive move here so far. I can't see it unless there's another chart with more data. There might be, actually. I think I've heard of Morpheus. What is it called? MNW token. Let's have a look. $16 market cap. Yeah, this isn't the actual full chart. This chart goes all the way back to 2018. See that? So this. Let me just see if there's another chart. Let's try gate. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of these old tokens. This has been around since 2018. Yeah. And I just think you should just avoid these really old tokens. It's already gone through one bull market. It's gone to $4, right? $4. Yeah, and it's given back most of its gains. Technically it could have another wave, because the low here was down at 0.05. Yeah, so anyone who caught these lows is still up 7x on their position. They would have taken profit in that bull market. Maybe they're scaling back in, who knows. It's a really low market cap. I kind of think I would avoid these old tokens. Like, if after 2018 it's only managing a 16 million market cap, honestly, I would just think this project is a dead product, even though it's probably not. maybe some people are trapped. There's a lot of trapped liquidity in this move, yeah, and all of that liquidity has to be cleared. I just think after so many years, 2018, if they would have tied their network, if they would have just bought Bitcoin and secured their, backed their token with Bitcoin, then this would have more market cap. Just simply from 2018, if they would have just accumulated Bitcoin with their token, sold their token and bought Bitcoin, then their token would be more valuable than what it is now, and they wouldn't have had to do nothing on their network. Does that make sense? Kind of like what MicroStrategy is doing, printing dollars at zero. Basically, they're taking loans at zero interest and they're buying Bitcoin. Yeah. If this would have done the same thing, they would be more valuable than this value here. So I think probably just forget it. Automation of documentation. No idea. Supply chains. I don't know. Doesn't really appeal to retail so much. So really it's about the business. And after so many years, the business is kind of, it's still only at 18 million, 16 million market caps, whatever. I think just avoid it. 6 million. It's so many other tokens that are better than this. Just put your money in SLERF, you'll make more money than this, to be honest with you. I think. Not financial advice. All right, that's that. Let me have a look at some other things. Alf, let's have a look. I've looked at this before for you, haven't I? I haven't added it though, so maybe I haven't. Looks all right. Just, you can do this yourself, guys. It's only me. Look, it's in the range. It's kind of slightly above the point of control now. The point of control is acting as some kind of SR flip. See that? It's trying to get back above it. Nice volume profile across the whole range. This chart looks okay to me. Looks healthy. Let's have a look at this and see what the historic data is showing. 108 million market cap. Relatively low volume. This token is launched 2022. There's no 2022 data here. Why not? Good. I'm looking for. There it is. It's better. Look at that. This is better. So use the gate chart. That'll be much better. Let's have a look at this. All right. So this is telling me a different story. It put the low in January 23. It's up 2,300% since January 23. Wow. A lot of volume in this up move. That's quite healthy. And effectively what you're looking at are wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So we have one more wave here. Do you see that? So there's one more wave to go here. This last wave to complete this. This is the 0 because it made a lower low here. And that was your wave, first impulsive wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got an ABC correction there. That's a really nice correction, really balanced correction. And then you've got this really nice impulsive move from the taking out the lows. 1, 2, 3, kind of 4, 5 or whatever. It could be to there actually. I don't know. It could be one of those pivots. And now we have a kind of, let's just say it was to there actually. I'm not sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this is all corrective, ABC, whatever, ABC. Right now, there's actually, while on the other chart it was showing a little bit of strength, this is actually showing a little bit of weakness. The weakness is that you're falling back underneath the value area high. That being said, I would say that even though you're showing weakness, it's not showing terrible weakness, because the minute you fall underneath the value area high, you should just fall. No? You should just reject. So if you can get back above, then that's really quite strong. Yeah. So, and you have a really tight and clear invalidation there. So you could just wait for that. Actually, you could, because you've got a very distinct. The great thing about these levels is you've got a very defined line which you can trade around, and it kind of takes a lot of the guessing away. Yeah, these levels. You don't really need to guess now. You can just wait for the price to reclaim that level, and then you have a clear invalidation. And it would need to do that first before any kind of significant move to the upside. Does that make sense? Let me just put in these levels now just for kind of keepsakes. And delete that. It's relevant. Levels. Right. If you think that when this token launched, then we're kind of there again, right at the launch price back in January 22. It's all right. Not too bad. Higher highs, higher lows, possibly. Yeah, so you would kind of see that we're underneath a little bit of resistance here. It's the 236 and the value area high. They're not exactly on top of each other, but you can still see that there's a clear 236 SR flip in play here. Yeah. So ideally what you want to see the price do is actually just get back above there. Then that would be your kind of entry, 1.36, and then that's your invalidation. And then if it did that, you'd be looking for an impulsive move. So potentially you could just wait for that to happen, or I mean, this correction could be ending quite soon, like end of this month, 1-to-1, and then could take the lows here too. So it could kind of take the lows, and then that would probably be your next good entry. a swing failure, like a little swing failure of these lows here. Yeah. I'm gonna set an alert. That what you'll be looking for is either a swing failure at the end of the month and then an impulsive move, get back above the 236, and then you're looking for your last wave impulse, and then possibly you'll be looking for, let's just have a look. That was nice at 1.618. The extension there was really nice. Maybe not so much this time. I mean, conservatively, you'll be looking for an 8x all the way up to $8.3. Yeah, that will be your conservative target for this. Yeah, because you had a pretty kind of expansive move here, isn't it? From 2 to 3. So I went up 3,000%. You're not expecting another 3,000%. So probably here another like 8 from here, from if it kind of found support here on the swing failure and then it expanded up to here, that'll be like an 8x, 800%. That would make sense. You're landing in at roughly about $8 or so. That's kind of what I'm imagining right now with this. All right, and maybe that will also correspond to some kind of trend line here. Actually, the trend line will be much lower, so maybe fake out the trend line, go above it, get everyone bullish, and actually hit some kind of fib extension, and that would be a big take profit there. That's kind of what you want. Fake out, big take profit, and then back down. Makes sense. It's just an idea. But the thing about prices, interesting about price discovery is it depends how you get there. If you go up there really fast and you're in the kind of pumping in alt season, then sure, let's go up to $31. Like, who knows? Like, no one can predict that price discovery if people start going insanely bullish on tokens. But conservatively, because you've already had quite an expansive wave here, I don't necessarily think we're going to have the same. I think probably you've had your real expansive move. This one I'll probably be thinking it's more in tune with the first one. Yeah, like 800% there. Maybe you have the same, like another 800% there. Would I prefer TET or ALF? What's TET? Look, my philosophy has developed over the last few years. Sometimes, like I'm not bad at kind of specifically picking bullish coins and kind of like I can go heavy on those. And then the problem with that is that then you're looking at your other coins, because I'm always looking at coins on a daily basis, and I see other coins move and I kind of think, why didn't I buy that coin? And I've done that many times, and it really caused me kind of psychological difficulties when I'm analyzing coins. Like I'm analyzing this coin, I'm seeing an easy 8x on this coin. Bullish market structure, higher high. These waves are intact. Trying to, if we can get back above the value area high here, it should do an easy 7 to 8x here. It's a really good setup potentially. If I don't, but I mean, if I pick another coin over this coin, my other coin might underperform and this might actually end up overperforming. Yeah, no one really can predict that, huh? No one really knows what's going to happen. That's one thing I've learned. No one actually knows. It's just all speculative probabilities. So it's in that situation, it's just best to have a position in both. And then you actually end up making a net gain on both the tokens. Now, you could argue that you have diminished returns because you'll have a really bad performing token and it will bring down your average. But the reality is, in a bull market where you have crazy amounts of capital rotation and you have retail suddenly going crazy over one coin for reasons that you can't explain, then it's probably best to have a kind of a more diversified portfolio. Does that make sense? TET macro. Is that a token? TET macro? What do you mean by TET macro? This one? Yeah, this one's nice. That was a launch. This is a new coiner. Tectum emission token. This is a new token. I generally think new tokens are probably more bullish because they don't have historic price data. And TET macro. This one, yeah? Do you mean this one? I think if this is the token you're talking about, because it's a new token, probably this is more bullish. Probably. The other one's a safer bet. So this is more of a gamble. But look, it's a new launch. I'm just putting in volume here. And there's nothing bullish about this token. It's everything to do with Bitcoin and the bull market. Yeah. But if you think about an 8x on this, you only have to get to there for an 8x. Let's have a look. It's good to have a look at the market caps. So this is a 63 mil. That other one was $108 mil. But the other one's moved quite a lot. That's the only reason why I'm a bit hesitant with the other one. It's already moved quite a lot. So I'm looking at an 8x on the other one. That will take the other one from, say, 100 mil to 800 mil market cap. I think that's probably your target, from 100 mil to 800 mil. Yeah. Taking you to about $8, right? Somewhere around $8. In the context of Bitcoin and the bull market and things going a little bit mental, that makes sense. With this one, you're already at 63 mil. It's a new token, right? Is it new? Yeah, it's relatively new. Hasn't really moved. I can't really see any moves. Maybe there's a move there. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but maybe there's a move here, right? Maybe. That's 1,000%. It's come all the way back. So you're only kind of from the lows here. You're only 188% from the lows. Yeah. I can see we're in bullish. Oh shit, we've just given up the oh, okay. So we've gone to, the problem with this is we went to bullish and then we went back to bearish. I'll show you. That's actually quite problematic for me. Look, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high. This is confirmation bullish, bearish. This is bearish market structure. So the daily time frame has actually just turned to bearish, right? I think I would like to see that turn back to bullish first. Does that make sense? So you're kind of in bearish market structure right now. I don't like that. So that's actual weakness. Just kind of putting in a lower low here is weakness. It's not strength. So you kind of now on this chart, you're putting in lower lows and lower highs. Naturally, you'll be expecting this to kind of do this until it hits that. So possibly this corrective move is continuing. Does that make sense? possibly. Yeah, there's quite a lot of volume in this down move here. This is bearish. This is bearish volume. So you couldn't really buy this at the moment. There's no buy here at the moment. You'd probably be looking for back down here again for a buy or a sign of strength. That would make sense. And the sign of strength in this context, it'll be easy to see because you're looking for like a higher time frame fib to be flipped. Probably you just want to get back above this high. That'll be a sign of strength like that. Get back above the value area. So you actually have to wait. In this context, you have no choice. You have to wait to take out that high, and then you can buy it at around $11. You'd have to see that first, or you're going to have to wait for lower to come into support down here at $5. That makes a lot more sense. And at the moment, I don't see a buy on this token, right? But that being said, I think probably as long as you don't take out this low here, which is possible but not likely, possible but not likely because you're above the point of control, then probably you're looking for the next wave, which is a wave 3, which should be the most impulsive wave. And if that corresponds to Bitcoin, then you should be going to much higher prices, yeah, like a really explosive parabolic wave in alt season. That's kind of what you're looking for, isn't it? Something like that. January. Probably January. If we can bottom out here at around $5 or $4.50, $5. So I think this is better, but I do think that this is the wrong time to buy. The other one, actually, again, that was wrong as well, wasn't it? This Aleph token, Alf, whatever it's called. Because here again, are you looking for lower or you're looking for a sign of strength? You're right underneath the value area high. You need to go lower or you need to go higher. You can't really buy here because you're buying into resistance and it could go lower. And it's a coin flip. It'd be a lot safer for it to go higher and then buy on support. The good thing about this token, so this is the thing, this is the caveat. You're in price discovery. So if this token gets into price discovery during Bitcoin's alt season, then you could overshoot, easily overshoot. And price discovery, there's no volume, so you can hit crazy prices quickly. Whereas obviously this one, you're not in price discovery. You have to still clear all of these price levels, all of these fib levels, etc., etc., etc. So if you do impulse from down here, you could still get a really nice impulsive move. 1,000%, go up to there, 2,000%. It's possible. They're both good, huh? in their own ways, but I don't think either of them are a buy right this second. 200, 400. So look, so the way to work it out is look at the current market cap, 63. And then if you're really honestly trying to get to $200, right now the current price is 8. So you're looking at a 20x, so or just above. So 20 times 63, that's going to put this at about a 1.2 billion market cap. Is this a 1.2 billion market cap token? It's a lot of money. 1.2 billion is a lot. Oh, it's a layer 1, isn't it? Yeah. This is the one. Look at that. It's a layer 1, huh? Yeah, this is better. I mean, it should be, right? Look how fast it's meant to be. Look, layer one, layer. They still have to do a lot of marketing and have to build their ecosystem. But in the context of a Bitcoin bull market, you might get quite a lot of speculative value come into this for the future. So protect them. I'm interested in this actually. I'm going to set an alert. Layer ones, they generally speaking do quite well. So here, looking for higher or lower, I'm not really interested in this bearish market structure. It's like a, look at it, it's like a head and shoulders pattern. That's the neckline. And I need to go down here. Yeah, no worries. Anytime. All right. Mohan, are you still here? Awfully quiet. If you're here, I'm going to look at your tokens. Bowman GMX. Just say something. Otherwise, I'm going to probably log off. The other layer one that I'll be looking at is Quanex. Have you heard of Quanex? I'm quite bullish on this one, Quanex. This one is a quantum proof layer one, and their mainnet comes out next month. So they've launched their testnet earlier on this year, and Quanex, Quan platform. Have you heard of this one? $41 mil market cap. Yeah, forget about Binance. Who cares? Just focus on the good applications, I think. Have a look at this one if you're interested in another layer one, because this is a you can code in any language. It's got quantum resistant quantum attacks, and they've done some really important partnerships. Some really they're partners with the Linux Foundation, and also they also announced that they've announced that an unannounced EU country is adopting their blockchain. Let me find that actually. So they haven't actually announced who it is, but they have announced that it's happened. Joins Coin Accelerator. Hey, look, first EU country implements Quan platform's quantum resistant technology. March. They haven't said who it is though. What the fuck's this? First time by an EU country. They haven't announced who it is, but I think there's quite a lot of interest in this this layer one because of the technology, which is meant to be quantum. Now I have no idea if it's true or not. But they're getting quite a lot of kind of partnership. Look, Linux Foundation and its post-quantum cryptography alliance, and we look at it, it's quite a low market cap, 41 million, lower than the other one that you're looking at, lower than this one. But again, you don't have to, you could buy both. This is quite faster, 3.5 million TPS. I wonder what this is actually. Let's have a look. I hear it says, look, So this is 95,000 TPS private, 1,600 public. I don't know what that means. So obviously the one that your tech term is much faster, huh? But this is fast too. This is quite fast, 95,000. I don't know what private and public means, to be honest with you. And then the good thing about this is that it's EVM compatible, and you can program in any language apparently. And here they put market at 103 million. Actually, it's much less now, so potentially a steal. Do you think Zero Labs can reach 1 billion? That would be $10. I don't think AI season is dead. I think AI season hasn't even begun yet. So I would not fade from any of the AI tokens, to be honest with you. That's kind of one of the reasons why I yeah. I mean, one of the, like, at the end of the day, when it comes to the market moves when people least expect it. That's what I've learned. So now that everyone is expecting a move, you can almost argue that maybe it's not going to happen until people don't expect it. It really happens. It really takes people by surprise. Now the question is, you're telling me, like, the sentiment that you're sharing with me makes me think that it could happen sooner than we think, because although we're just getting a little bit of a rejection here on Bitcoin, you're saying we're bearish on altcoins. If people are bearish on altcoins, that's probably when they're probably gonna explode, when people are feeling bearish. Yeah. For me, a key indicator, I keep on talking about it and nothing's changed, is this higher time frame ETH BTC chart. This is the level that will not break. I can't see it breaking. I just think it's highly unlikely for us to lose this level just like that, because I'm seeing a higher time frame point of control, golden pocket, monthly level. A lot of kind of volume has been put in at this level, of historic volume, and it's a higher time frame kind of SR flip area, or the whole area as an SR flip. This is alt season. This is when alt season begins. And if people are bearish on alt, like, you don't get bearish at the lows. And so when you're at the highs, you get bearish. When you're at the lows, you have to get more bullish. The lower this goes, the more bullish you have to become when it comes to altcoins. Does that make sense? There's no reason to be bearish. You can get bullish. Get bullish at the lows, bearish at the highs. That's how it works. It's not the opposite. There's a measured move here on this double top as well to this neckline. See that? It's a measured move. If you consider this double top here, and you just measure it, we're kind of coming to the end of this measured move on this double top here. Okay, so we have a lot of things coming into culmination here. I don't really care about the price of Bitcoin. All I care about is alt season. Alt season is when Bitcoin rotates into altcoins. Yeah. And this has to bottom out. This hasn't bottomed out yet, right? And you're looking at the yearly chart. It's looking extremely bearish. Actually, I was quite bullish on the yearly chart at the beginning of the year. I didn't think this was too bearish, to be honest with you. I thought it was quite bullish. But just wait, because we had the year hasn't ended. It's a really bearish candle. But let's say you close here, then the next 12 months we could be seeing a really powerful green candle all the way up to the top. Yeah. That's usually when it happens. So you would buy that candle, this red candle that comes down into some key support. And I'm really bullish. I mean, the lower this gets, the more bullish I get on altcoins, you know. All right. What time is it? It's probably time to go. SLERF is pulling back, like it's dropping now. It's at 2.9. Ooh. Oh, the funding rate on SLERF is extremely bearish. It's not good. Let's have a look at SLERF. Well, I don't like it when I'm right all the time. If it just at the daily level, so it's actually a good place for the price to kind of find support. I don't think it's just going to go down in a straight line, but I'm targeting 25. Yeah, we had our bounce there, and that was a good trade. Now we're losing the golden pocket here, heading down to that key level there, 25 and a half. All right. I'm gonna head out. Good chat. Nice to see you guys, and then I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care.